Hello everyone. Welcome to this exciting story where we explore the habits of highly successful people and learn valuable English lessons along the way. If you enjoy learning about personal growth, motivation, and practical habits that can transform your life, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button to stay updated with all the upcoming parts. Today, we'll dive into the daily routines, mindset shifts, and small choices that distinguish highly successful people from the rest. This story will take you through real-life experiences, thoughtful reflections, and actionable insights that you can apply to your own life. Imagine waking up each morning with clarity, focus, and a sense of purpose. Highly successful people don't leave their days to chance. They cultivate habits that consistently drive them forward. In this story, we follow the journey of Alex, a young professional navigating his way through challenges, opportunities, and personal growth. Through Alex's experiences, we will uncover the core habits of success: discipline, consistency, time management, learning, and resilience. Along the way, we'll include English lessons focused on vocabulary, expressions, and phrases used in personal development and professional contexts, so you not only enjoy the story but also improve your language skills naturally. Alex's journey begins in a bustling city where he recently started his first corporate job. He is eager to grow, but quickly realizes that ambition alone is not enough. He notices colleagues who seem effortlessly efficient, calm under pressure, and always ahead in their tasks. Curious, he begins to observe, learn, and experiment with their habits. What does it mean to be successful? How do small daily routines translate into long-term achievement? These are the questions that guide his exploration. The first lesson Alex discovers is the importance of early mornings. Highly successful people often start their days before the rest of the world wakes up. It's not about working longer hours, but about creating quiet time to focus, plan, and set intentions. Alex decides to try this for a week. Waking up an hour earlier, he begins by writing a simple morning routine, a short meditation, reviewing his goals for the day, and a quick exercise to energize his body. He notices that this small change gives him a sense of control and calm that carries through his workday. The second habit Alex explores is goal setting. Successful people break down large objectives into smaller, actionable tasks. Alex starts to maintain a daily planner, listing the 3 most important tasks for each day. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the enormity of his projects, he focuses on achieving these small wins. Each completed task reinforces his confidence, showing him that progress is built incrementally. He also learns how to prioritize effectively, understanding the difference between urgent and important tasks. Third, Alex observes the habit of continuous learning. The people he admires dedicate time every day to reading, skill development, or self-reflection. Alex begins to carve out 30 minutes each evening to read books on personal growth, leadership, and communication. He starts a notebook to record key insights and reflections. This practice sharpens his mind, expands his vocabulary, and introduces him to ideas that he can immediately apply in his work. For English learners, this is a practical way to improve comprehension and absorb advanced vocabulary in context. Another crucial habit Alex notices is networking and building relationships. Highly successful people invest time in connecting with mentors, colleagues, and industry professionals. Alex begins to attend small meetups, engage in conversations with his team, and schedule short virtual calls with professionals he admires. He realizes that relationships are not just about exchanging favors, they are about learning, sharing ideas, and building a support system. Through these interactions, he picks up idiomatic expressions and professional English phrases that help him communicate more effectively. Alex also learns about healthy routines. Successful people maintain physical and mental health through exercise, proper nutrition, and rest. Initially, Alex struggles to find balance, but gradually he incorporates short workouts, mindful meals, and regular sleep into his schedule. The results are immediate. He feels more energetic, focused, and resilient to stress. He notices that sustaining energy is just as important as strategy and planning. Another habit he admires is reflective journaling. Taking time each day to review achievements, failures, and lessons help successful people improve continuously. Alex begins journaling every evening, asking questions like, "What did I do well today? What could I improve? What am I grateful for?" This practice increases self-awareness and helps him adjust strategies for the following day. Time management is also a key habit. Highly successful people understand the value of focused work and avoiding distractions. Alex starts using techniques like the Pomodoro method, scheduling deep work sessions, and limiting social media use during work hours. He discovers that blocking his time and focusing on one task at a time increases productivity dramatically. Finally, Alex learns about resilience and adaptability. Challenges and failures are inevitable, but successful people treat them as learning opportunities. Alex faces a difficult project that seems impossible at first. Instead of panicking, he breaks it into smaller tasks, seeks guidance, and keeps a positive mindset. Each obstacle becomes a lesson in perseverance, problem solving, and emotional control. By the end of the first week of experimenting with these habits, Alex feels noticeable changes. He is calmer, more organized, and more confident. Motivation no longer depends on random bursts of inspiration but on daily practice, structure, and intentional action. For English learners, following Alex's story offers double benefits: improving language skills while understanding the practical habits that drive success. So stay tuned for the next part, where we dive deeper into Alex's journey, his challenges, and how he develops a morning routine that transforms his days. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button to continue learning with us. In the following parts, we'll explore real examples of productivity hacks, mindset shifts, and daily rituals that make highly successful people stand out. The following Monday, Alex woke up earlier than usual. His alarm rang at 6 a.m., and instead of hitting snooze, he sat up immediately. The city outside was quiet, with only the distant hum of traffic and the occasional bird chirping. He realized this was the first real test of his commitment to adopting successful habits. Getting up early wasn't easy, but he reminded himself why he was doing it: to gain clarity, control, and momentum in his day. He started with a short meditation, sitting on the edge of his bed, eyes closed, focusing on his breath. In and out. In and out. Within minutes, he noticed a calmness he hadn't felt before. Meditation, he realized, was a habit that could train the mind to focus rather than get distracted. It was a small, intentional action, but one that set the tone for his entire day. Following meditation, Alex spent 10 minutes reviewing his goals. He wrote down the 3 most important tasks for the day and prioritized them based on impact rather than urgency. This simple act gave him direction and reduced the anxiety he often felt when staring at a long to-do list. Next, he went for a brief morning jog. The exercise invigorated him, boosting both his physical energy and mental alertness. Alex had read that many highly successful people exercised regularly, not just for health, but to enhance focus, resilience, and discipline. Even a short run allowed him to feel in control of his body and mind, ready to tackle challenges ahead. After returning, he took a quick shower, ate a healthy breakfast, and prepared for work. The morning routine, though slightly longer than his previous routine, left him energized rather than exhausted. At work, Alex faced the first test of his new approach. A complex report awaited him, and deadlines felt tight. Instead of panicking, he remembered the habit of breaking tasks into manageable chunks. He divided the report into 3 sections and tackled the first one without worrying about the others. By focusing on a single section, he noticed he completed it more efficiently and with better quality than usual. Each completed section became a small victory, reinforcing the power of incremental progress. During lunch, Alex reflected on another habit of highly successful people: continuous learning. He brought a small book on personal growth and read a few chapters while eating. The practice reminded him that even a short time dedicated to learning could accumulate into significant knowledge over weeks and months. Vocabulary, ideas, and strategies flowed naturally into his mind, and he even noted a few expressions in his journal to use in professional conversations. After lunch, he dedicated time to networking. Alex realized that small interactions with colleagues, mentors, and peers were crucial for professional growth. He asked questions, shared his ideas, and listened carefully to others. This habit of connecting not only provided insights, but also helped him practice conversational English in a professional context. He discovered that building relationships was an ongoing process, strengthened by consistency, empathy, and genuine curiosity. By the end of the day, Alex noticed subtle but meaningful changes. The sense of control, focus, and accomplishment he felt was unfamiliar yet invigorating. The combination of early mornings, meditation, goal setting, exercise, learning, and networking had created a rhythm that allowed him to feel productive and purposeful. He understood that these habits were interconnected. Physical health supported mental clarity, learning fueled creativity, networking expanded opportunities, and small wins reinforced motivation. That evening, Alex began journaling. He reflected on the day's achievements and challenges. He asked himself questions like, what went well today? What could I improve tomorrow? What small actions made the biggest difference? The habit of reflection helped him internalize lessons and plan incremental improvements. Even small observations, like how getting up early improved his mood or how networking created unexpected insights, became powerful motivators for continued practice. Before going to bed, Alex reviewed his goals for the next day. He wrote down 3 achievable tasks and noted how he would break them into steps. The act of planning reinforced the habit of structured action, which he realized was essential for long-term success. As he drifted off to sleep, he felt a quiet confidence. Motivation no longer felt like a mysterious force. It was something he could cultivate through habits, choices, and intentional actions. The first week of implementing these habits was not perfect. There were mornings when he felt tempted to hit snooze, tasks that seemed daunting, and moments of distraction. Yet each time he returned to the habits, meditation, goal setting, exercise, learning, networking, and reflection, he strengthened his capacity for focus and resilience. Alex realized that the key to success wasn't perfection, it was persistence, consistency, and the willingness to keep practicing essential habits every day. The following week, Alex woke with a renewed sense of purpose. His early morning routine had become a comfortable rhythm, though he still faced the occasional temptation to sleep longer. He reminded himself that the goal wasn't to be perfect but to cultivate consistency. Even when small disruptions occurred, the key was returning to the habits that fostered focus, energy, and motivation. Alex began his morning with meditation, this time extending the session to 10 minutes. He focused not only on his breath but also on visualizing a productive day ahead. This mental rehearsal, he discovered, helped him anticipate challenges and plan strategies proactively. Afterward, he reviewed his daily goals, breaking each into smaller, actionable steps. He noticed how these small divisions made even the most complex tasks feel manageable, reducing anxiety and increasing confidence. Exercise remained a core habit. On this Monday, Alex decided to mix his usual jog with bodyweight exercises. The combination challenged his physical endurance and improved his energy levels throughout the morning. Highly successful people, he had read, maintained physical health not merely for appearance, but for the mental clarity, stamina, and resilience it provides. Alex began to understand that each habit supported the others. Meditation calmed the mind, exercise energized the body, and structured planning channeled both into productive action. At work, Alex faced multiple projects competing for attention. Previously, he might have felt stressed or scattered. Now, he applied another lesson: time blocking. He scheduled focus periods for each project, with short breaks in between. By limiting distractions and focusing entirely on one task at a time, he noticed a dramatic improvement in efficiency and quality. Completing even small sections gave him a sense of progress, reinforcing motivation and confidence. During lunch, Alex reflected on continuous learning. He had started listening to educational podcasts while walking to the cafeteria. Topics ranged from leadership and psychology to practical skills in communication and project management. Each episode offered actionable insights and introduced phrases and expressions that improved his English comprehension. He jotted down useful sentences and vocabulary in a small notebook, realizing that language improvement could coincide naturally with professional development. In the afternoon, Alex prioritized networking. He scheduled short check-ins with colleagues, asked questions about their workflows, and offered help on collaborative projects. He noticed that successful people don't just accumulate knowledge, they also build supportive relationships. These connections provided advice, resources, and new perspectives. Alex realized that networking was a daily habit, not a sporadic activity, and even small, genuine interactions added up over time. By evening, Alex dedicated time to reflection and journaling. He noted what he had accomplished, the small victories that might otherwise go unnoticed, and areas for improvement. Reflecting on successes, whether finishing a challenging section of a project or learning a new concept, reinforced positive behavior. He also wrote down what distracted him during the day and strategies to minimize these distractions tomorrow. This habit of deliberate reflection was essential for continuous growth. Alex also began experimenting with habits of gratitude and positive thinking. Each night, he wrote 3 things he was grateful for and 3 positive aspects of his day. This practice shifted his mindset from focusing solely on tasks to appreciating progress and opportunities. It reduced stress, increased optimism, and made the pursuit of goals feel more meaningful. Motivation, he realized, was closely tied to mindset. Celebrating small wins and maintaining perspective fueled sustained effort. By the end of the week, Alex noticed subtle but important changes. His mornings felt more intentional, his workdays more productive, and his evenings more reflective. The combination of meditation, exercise, goal setting, time blocking, learning, networking, reflection, and gratitude created a web of habits that reinforced each other. Motivation was no longer a random emotion, it was a cultivated practice, embedded in daily routines. Alex also learned an important principle: flexibility within structure. Habits provided a framework, but rigidity was counterproductive. Some days he adjusted exercise routines, shifted task priorities, or skipped sections of reading when urgent matters arose. What mattered most was returning to the habits consistently, rather than adhering perfectly to a plan. Successful people, he observed, thrive not because they are flawless, but because they combine discipline with adaptability. As he lay in bed, journaling and reflecting on the week, Alex felt a quiet satisfaction. The small, deliberate actions of each day were accumulating into significant progress. Motivation had become sustainable because it was anchored in routine, awareness, and reflection. The journey was ongoing, but Alex was now equipped with habits that could guide him toward personal and professional success. The following Monday, Alex awoke with a sense of determination. His routine was becoming natural, yet he knew that real growth often emerged during challenges, not comfort. That day, he faced a series of unexpected tasks at work. A major project was delayed, requiring him to rework significant portions, and his manager requested a last-minute presentation. Previously, such disruptions would have thrown him into stress and indecision. Now, however, he approached the day using the habits he had cultivated. He began the morning with his usual meditation and goal setting, extending the session to include visualization of potential obstacles. He imagined how he would respond if unexpected issues arose, creating mental scenarios that helped him stay calm when the pressure came. Visualization, he realized, was a subtle but powerful habit that many highly successful people practiced. It prepared the mind to adapt and remain focused in the face of uncertainty. Exercise that morning was slightly longer, incorporating both cardio and stretching. Physical activity served as a buffer against stress and sharpened his alertness. By the time he arrived at work, Alex felt energized and ready to tackle the challenges ahead. He reviewed his tasks, breaking each into manageable steps, and prioritized based on impact rather than urgency. The mental clarity gained from his morning habits allowed him to act decisively rather than react impulsively. At work, the first challenge was the delayed project. Alex divided the workload into smaller sections, delegating where appropriate, and tackling the critical tasks first. He applied focused time blocking, concentrating fully on one task at a time, with short breaks to prevent burnout. By maintaining this disciplined approach, he completed the essential portions efficiently. Each small success reinforced his confidence and motivation, showing him that structured habits could withstand even unexpected pressures. During lunch, Alex took time to read a chapter from a book on leadership. The chapter emphasized the importance of maintaining perspective during difficult situations. Alex reflected on the lesson: highly successful people do not let temporary setbacks define them. Instead, they see challenges as opportunities to improve, learn, and adapt. He noted down key phrases and vocabulary, practicing both comprehension and English usage, recognizing that continuous learning was a habit intertwined with professional growth. In the afternoon, Alex faced another challenge. A colleague was struggling with a task that impacted his work. Alex applied his habit of empathy and proactive problem-solving. He offered guidance and collaborated to find solutions, demonstrating that successful people integrate interpersonal skills into their daily routines. Networking and relationship building weren't just for future opportunities. They helped navigate current challenges effectively. By evening, Alex returned home exhausted but satisfied. He reviewed the day in his journal, reflecting on what went well, what could be improved, and which habits had been most effective. The act of journaling helped him consolidate insights and maintain accountability. Even in the face of disruption, his habits, meditation, goal setting, time blocking, learning, networking, exercise, and reflection, provided structure, focus, and resilience. Alex also began experimenting with another habit: preparing for tomorrow before the day ends. He wrote down the most important tasks for the next day, considered potential obstacles, and planned strategies to overcome them. This forward-thinking habit reduced morning stress and increased productivity, reinforcing the idea that planning and reflection are continuous processes in successful lives. That night, Alex practiced gratitude, listing 3 positive outcomes from the challenging day. The habit of focusing on progress rather than setbacks improved his mindset, making him more optimistic and motivated. He realized that motivation wasn't about avoiding difficulty. It was about maintaining consistent habits that supported focus, resilience, and well-being. By the end of the week, Alex observed tangible improvements in both his performance and his mindset. Challenges no longer felt overwhelming. They were opportunities to apply and reinforce his habits. The small, consistent actions he practiced daily: exercise, meditation, learning, networking, goal setting, time blocking, journaling, reflection, and gratitude, formed an interlocking system that enabled him to thrive. Motivation had become self-sustaining, no longer dependent on fleeting emotions or external circumstances. The next week began with a sense of purpose and a growing awareness of the habits that were transforming Alex's life. He had noticed that while discipline and routine were important, sustaining energy and focus throughout the day was equally critical. Highly successful people didn't just act, they acted strategically, managing their mental and physical resources to maintain peak performance over time. Alex was eager to integrate these advanced strategies into his routine. He started his Monday morning with meditation, extending it to include mindfulness of energy levels. Instead of only focusing on his breath, he visualized how his energy would ebb and flow throughout the day. By anticipating moments of fatigue or distraction, he could plan short breaks or mental resets to remain productive. Visualization, he realized, was more than motivation, it was energy management in action. After meditation, Alex completed a short, high-intensity exercise routine. He noticed that mixing cardio with strength exercises early in the day not only energized him but improved mental clarity. Exercise, he reflected, was not just about health, it was a tool for maintaining focus, managing stress, and boosting productivity. Successful people treated their bodies as instruments for achievement, understanding that physical energy was inseparable from mental performance. At work, Alex applied the habit of time blocking more strategically. He grouped similar tasks together to reduce cognitive load and minimize transition time. For example, He dedicated the morning to creative problem-solving tasks that required deep focus and left repetitive administrative tasks for the afternoon, when his energy naturally dipped. By aligning tasks with energy levels, he worked more efficiently and avoided burnout. During lunch, Alex continued his habit of continuous learning. He explored a podcast on productivity techniques used by CEOs and entrepreneurs. One key idea resonated with him: the importance of strategic breaks. High performers schedule short pauses to recharge mentally and physically, preventing fatigue from undermining focus. Alex decided to experiment with brief walks and stretching sessions in the afternoon. He realized that consistent energy management was as important as discipline in sustaining long-term motivation. In the afternoon, Alex faced a complex project that required creativity and collaboration. Instead of rushing through it, he applied his habits mindfully, breaking tasks into smaller steps, focusing on one piece at a time, and engaging with colleagues for insights. He noticed that when he allowed himself structured pauses and remained fully present, solutions came more naturally. The habit of combining action with reflection, focus with breaks, became a powerful pattern for success. After work, Alex dedicated time to journaling and reflection. He analyzed how energy levels impacted productivity and identified moments of peak focus. He also recorded strategies that helped him sustain energy: short walks, stretching, hydration, brief mindfulness exercises, and prioritizing challenging tasks during high-energy periods. This reflection not only reinforced his learning but provided a personalized roadmap for managing future workdays. Alex also began exploring the habit of strategic goal review. Instead of daily checklists alone, he reviewed weekly goals each Sunday evening, considering progress, obstacles, and adjustments. This habit helped him maintain perspective, avoid getting lost in minutiae, and focus on actions that truly mattered. Motivation, he realized, wasn't just about completing tasks. It was about aligning actions with long-term objectives. Another habit he integrated was creative exploration. Successful people often reserve time for curiosity, experimentation, and creative thinking. Alex set aside time each evening to sketch, brainstorm new project ideas, or explore hobbies. This habit nourished his mind, improved problem-solving, and made work more enjoyable. Motivation, he realized, thrived when tasks combined discipline with creativity, structure with freedom. By the end of the week, Alex observed a clear improvement in his energy, focus, and overall effectiveness. He no longer felt drained after intense work periods. Instead, he had learned to manage energy strategically, ensuring consistent performance. His daily habits: early rising, meditation, exercise, goal setting, time blocking, learning, networking, journaling, reflection, and creative exploration, intertwined to create a sustainable system for success. As Alex prepared for the next week, he felt confident that habits could be strengthened, refined, and adapted. Motivation and productivity were no longer dependent on random bursts of willpower. They were the natural outcomes of consistent, intentional practice. In the next part, Alex will explore the balance between professional ambition and personal well-being, learning how highly successful people sustain performance without sacrificing health, relationships, or happiness. The following week, Alex realized that sustaining success required more than productivity; it demanded balance. While habits like early rising, focused work, and continuous learning fueled his performance, he observed colleagues who achieved professionally but seemed drained, stressed, or disconnected from personal life. Highly successful people, he reflected, managed not only tasks and goals but also health, relationships, and emotional well-being. This week, he decided to focus on integrating balance into his routine. Alex began his Monday with his morning meditation, adding an emphasis on emotional awareness. He observed his feelings without judgment, acknowledging stress, excitement, or fatigue. Meditation now included a brief visualization of the day ahead, considering both professional and personal needs. He realized that emotional balance was a skill, cultivated through mindfulness, reflection, and intentional attention to feelings. After meditation, he completed a moderate workout combining cardio, yoga, and light strength training. Physical activity was now a non-negotiable habit, not merely for energy but for maintaining mental clarity and emotional resilience. Exercise, he noted, also provided small rewards, the satisfaction of progress, endorphins that boosted mood, and a sense of control over his body. At work, Alex applied strategic task management with a focus on balance. He alternated intensive work periods with lighter tasks, ensuring that energy peaks were used efficiently while preventing burnout. He also scheduled short breaks to stretch, hydrate, and reset mentally. Time blocking now incorporated intentional pauses, which allowed him to maintain high performance without sacrificing well-being. During lunch, Alex reflected on relationships, a key element often overlooked in professional success. He scheduled short conversations with colleagues, asked questions, and actively listened. Building and nurturing relationships created a supportive network that reduced stress and fostered collaboration. He also used this time to connect with friends and family, sending messages and making plans for the evening. Balance, he realized, required attention to both work and personal connections. In the afternoon, Alex faced a complex project with tight deadlines. He applied his habits strategically, breaking the project into smaller tasks, focusing deeply on one at a time, and taking mini breaks to maintain energy and clarity. By integrating balance into high-pressure situations, he noticed improved problem-solving, creativity, and resilience. Motivation was no longer a fragile state. It was sustained by structure, energy management, and well-being practices. After work, Alex dedicated time to personal growth through reading and creative exploration. He journaled about successes and challenges, reflecting on lessons learned while also noting opportunities to enhance balance. Journaling reinforced self-awareness, helping him track patterns of stress, fatigue, and productivity. He also maintained a gratitude practice, acknowledging positive outcomes, supportive relationships, and small wins. This habit strengthened emotional resilience, which he recognized as vital for sustained success. Alex experimented with evening digital detoxes, avoiding screens 1 hour before bed. He replaced social media scrolling with reading, journaling, or light stretching. The result was better sleep quality, improved focus the next morning, and a calmer mental state. Highly successful people, he realized, protected their energy by creating boundaries and routines that fostered mental and emotional recovery. By the end of the week, Alex observed a significant improvement in his ability to sustain motivation, performance, and emotional well-being. Habits of balance, mindfulness, strategic breaks, relationship building, reflection, gratitude, exercise, and restorative routines interacted with productivity habits to create a holistic approach to success. Motivation was no longer driven solely by goals, it emerged from harmony between ambition and well-being. Alex concluded that success without balance was fragile. Professional achievement was most meaningful and sustainable when paired with health, relationships, emotional awareness, and personal growth. As he prepared for the next week, he felt equipped to navigate challenges without sacrificing core values, understanding that habits are the scaffolding that supports both performance and well-being. The following Monday, Alex awoke with a renewed determination to enhance his focus. He realized that while habits, balance, and energy management were essential, the ability to direct attention deliberately was what separated good performance from exceptional results. Highly successful people cultivated attention as a skill, carefully managing distractions, prioritizing tasks, and maintaining deep focus for extended periods. Alex was ready to explore this next level of productivity. His morning began with meditation, now specifically designed to train attention. He practiced noticing each thought, gently returning focus to his breath whenever distraction arose. This simple but powerful practice strengthened his mental discipline, teaching him to recognize wandering attention without judgment and redirect it deliberately. Meditation, he realized, was both a tool for clarity and a daily exercise in focus. After meditation, Alex completed a brisk workout to energize his body. Physical activity, he had learned, was not only crucial for energy but also for sharpening cognitive performance. Exercise enhanced blood flow to the brain, improved mood, and helped him maintain sustained attention throughout the morning. At work, Alex applied the principle of deep work. He designated uninterrupted blocks of time to tackle complex projects, turning off notifications and silencing his phone. Highly successful people, he noted, create conditions that protect their attention, knowing that shallow multitasking reduces quality and efficiency. Alex structured 3 deep work sessions in the morning, each lasting 90 minutes, followed by short breaks for mental reset. During one session, he focused on drafting a detailed project proposal. By eliminating distractions and breaking the task into manageable components, he achieved more in 2 hours than he had previously in a full morning. The satisfaction of this focused effort reinforced the power of deliberate attention. He realized that motivation thrived when tasks were approached with undivided focus, rather than scattered energy. Lunch provided a pause, during which Alex continued his habit of learning. He read an article on productivity strategies used by top executives, noting how they prioritized important but non-urgent tasks, delegated effectively, and scheduled time for reflection. He also observed language patterns and vocabulary that enhanced his English skills, reinforcing learning alongside practical habits. In the afternoon, Alex practiced attention management techniques. He used a timer to work in concentrated intervals and consciously avoided multitasking. He experimented with batching similar tasks together to minimize cognitive switching costs, and he learned to say no to unnecessary meetings or interruptions. Focus, he realized, was a combination of self-discipline, environmental control, and clear priorities. Another habit Alex refined was single-task journaling. Instead of reflecting on the day all at once, he recorded insights immediately after completing each significant task. This practice enhanced memory, reinforced learning, and highlighted patterns in attention and productivity. He noticed which activities demanded the most focus, which were prone to distraction, and how energy levels impacted concentration. By evening, Alex incorporated gratitude and reflection into his routine. He noted how the day's focused work had produced tangible progress and personal satisfaction. Celebrating small wins reinforced positive habits and built momentum for the following day. Motivation, he realized, was deeply linked to attention. Where focus went, energy and action followed naturally. Alex also began planning for strategic attention allocation for the coming week. He reviewed long-term goals and decided which tasks required deep focus, which could be delegated, and which were less critical. Highly successful people, he observed, do not treat attention as infinite. They carefully allocate it to tasks that maximize impact, ensuring that effort translates into meaningful results. By the end of the week, Alex had strengthened his ability to sustain deep focus, manage distractions, and work efficiently on high-priority tasks. Habits of attention, meditation, deep work, single tasking, environmental control, and strategic planning intertwined with his previous routines, creating a comprehensive system for success. Motivation, productivity, and well-being were now integrated, driven by deliberate, focused action. As the following week began, Alex reflected on how far he had come. His routines were becoming more natural, and he was noticing tangible improvements in focus, energy, and productivity. Yet, he understood that even with strong habits, growth required constant learning and adaptation. Highly successful people never stop improving. They treat every experience, success, and failure as an opportunity to learn. This week, Alex committed to embracing the habit of continuous self-improvement. His morning meditation now included reflection on personal growth. Instead of only focusing on breath or visualization, Alex asked himself, what skill can I improve today? How can I challenge myself to be better? What lesson can I extract from yesterday? This subtle shift in focus turned meditation into a tool for growth, aligning mind, goals, and actions. After meditation, Alex exercised as usual. Physical activity not only maintained energy but also created a sense of accomplishment, reinforcing the mindset of consistent improvement. He experimented with varying his routine slightly each day, testing new exercises and pushing small limits to challenge himself physically and mentally. Small, incremental improvements were the essence of lasting growth. At work, Alex applied learning-oriented thinking. He approached each project not only as a task to complete, but also as a chance to refine skills and gain insights. When mistakes occurred, he documented what went wrong and how it could be done better next time. Highly successful people, he realized, do not view errors as failures. They view them as opportunities for analysis, adaptation, and learning. During lunch, Alex continued his habit of continuous learning. He read books, listened to podcasts, and explored case studies of leaders and innovators. Vocabulary expanded naturally, and he absorbed practical strategies for personal and professional improvement. He noted key lessons in his journal and reflected on how to implement them in his own projects. For English learning, this method provided real-world context for comprehension and usage. In the afternoon, Alex focused on refining soft skills. He practiced communication, collaboration, and leadership, observing how small adjustments could improve interactions with colleagues. He noted how successful people listened actively, gave constructive feedback, and inspired others through example. Improving interpersonal skills became a deliberate habit, just like exercise or time management. He also began experimenting with micro-challenges, small daily exercises designed to push comfort zones. One day, he volunteered to lead a short team discussion. Another day, he tackled a task outside his immediate expertise. These challenges built confidence, competence, and adaptability. Success, Alex observed, was rarely about innate talent. It was about deliberate practice, exposure to new experiences, and resilience in the face of difficulty. By evening, Alex journaled about the day's learning experiences. He reviewed achievements, challenges, and lessons, asking, "What did I learn today? How can I apply this tomorrow? Which habits supported this growth?" Reflection consolidated knowledge, reinforced habits, and ensured that each day contributed to long-term self-improvement. Alex also dedicated time to goal reassessment. He evaluated weekly, monthly, and long-term objectives, adjusting strategies as needed. This habit of continuous evaluation ensured that actions remained aligned with evolving goals. Highly successful people, he noted, adapt strategies without compromising core principles, maintaining flexibility while staying committed to growth. By the end of the week, Alex noticed a profound shift. Motivation was no longer reactive, it was proactive, driven by a clear vision of personal development. Habits of continuous learning, reflection, experimentation, and adaptability intertwined with his routines of focus, energy management, balance, and productivity. Every day offered opportunities for improvement, and Alex embraced them deliberately. The following week, Alex realized that even with strong habits, life could present unexpected obstacles. A critical project at work faced sudden delays due to external factors, and a personal commitment required immediate attention. Previously, such disruptions might have caused stress or demotivation. Now, however, Alex approached these challenges with resilience, a habit he had observed in highly successful people. His morning meditation focused on emotional regulation. He acknowledged frustration and anxiety without judgment, then visualized potential solutions. This practice created mental flexibility, allowing him to respond rather than react. He realized that resilience begins with awareness, understanding emotions, assessing situations objectively, and maintaining focus on actionable steps. After meditation, Alex exercised, combining cardio and light strength training. Physical activity, he knew, was not only essential for energy but also for emotional resilience. His body felt stronger, his mind clearer, and he could face the day's challenges with composure. Exercise, combined with reflection and focus, provided a buffer against stress. At work, Alex applied the habit of problem-solving under pressure. He broke down the delayed project into smaller tasks and identified which components he could control. For parts beyond his influence, he communicated proactively with colleagues and management, proposing solutions and contingency plans. By focusing on controllable elements and remaining proactive, he regained a sense of agency. During lunch, Alex continued his habit of learning, choosing a podcast on overcoming professional setbacks. He listened to stories of entrepreneurs and leaders who faced repeated failures before achieving success. Vocabulary and expressions related to resilience and adaptability enriched his English, and practical strategies reinforced his personal approach. He noted insights in his journal to apply later. In the afternoon, Alex confronted another challenge. A miscommunication with a team member had caused a minor error in a report. Instead of frustration, he applied empathy and problem solving. He clarified expectations, proposed corrective steps, and ensured collaboration for future tasks. Highly successful people, he realized, view setbacks as learning opportunities rather than threats. Each problem was a chance to improve processes, communication, and skills. By evening, Alex reflected deeply in his journal. He listed each setback, his response, and the lessons learned. He asked himself, what did I control? What can I improve? How can I prevent similar issues in the future? Reflection reinforced resilience and created a mindset where challenges were integrated into the journey of growth rather than hindrances. Alex also reinforced the habit of gratitude. Even amidst difficulties, he acknowledged progress, supportive colleagues, and personal strengths. Gratitude balanced perspective, reduced stress, and maintained motivation. Motivation, he realized, was sustained not only by successes but by the ability to navigate setbacks with grace and learning. By the end of the week, Alex's resilience had strengthened significantly. Challenges no longer derailed his progress. They became opportunities to apply focus, energy management, reflection, and problem-solving habits. Habits of resilience, emotional awareness, proactive problem-solving, reflection, learning, and gratitude intertwined seamlessly with his routines of productivity, balance, and continuous self-improvement. Alex understood a vital truth: success is not defined by the absence of setbacks, but by the ability to persist, adapt, and grow through them. Motivation was no longer fragile or external. It was embedded in his daily habits, mindset, and responses to life's inevitable challenges. As the final week of his journey unfolded, Alex reflected on the transformation he had experienced. The past weeks had been a deliberate experiment in cultivating the habits of highly successful people, and the results were profound. Motivation was no longer a fleeting emotion. It was a product of consistent action, thoughtful reflection, and intentional practice. Now, he sought to consolidate these lessons and understand how they could be applied for a lifetime. Alex began each morning with meditation, now a deeply ingrained habit. Meditation provided clarity, emotional balance, and focus, forming the foundation of every productive day. He coupled this with goal setting and visualization, aligning daily actions with long-term objectives. By breaking tasks into manageable steps and prioritizing high-impact activities, he maintained a clear sense of purpose and direction. Physical activity remained non-negotiable. Exercise not only energized his body but enhanced cognitive function, focus, and resilience. He understood that caring for the body was inseparable from sustaining mental and emotional performance. Successful people, Alex realized, treat their physical and mental health as vital instruments for achieving goals. Time blocking, deep work, and strategic attention management had become second nature. Alex could focus on complex tasks with minimal distraction, using structured routines and deliberate breaks to maximize productivity. He recognized that focus, like any skill, required training, discipline, and protection from unnecessary interruptions. Continuous learning had also become a daily priority. Alex consumed books, podcasts, and case studies, always extracting practical lessons. He practiced soft skills, enhanced communication, and refined problem-solving abilities. Learning was no longer a sporadic effort but a continuous habit, reinforcing both professional growth and English language improvement. Networking and relationship building were integral to his daily routine. Alex nurtured connections with colleagues, mentors, and friends, understanding that collaboration, support, and shared knowledge are critical for long-term success. Gratitude and empathy strengthened these relationships, creating a positive feedback loop that enhanced both personal and professional life. Reflection and journaling consolidated Alex's experiences. Daily and weekly reviews allowed him to internalize lessons, track progress, and adjust strategies. This habit fostered self-awareness, accountability, and the ability to learn from both successes and setbacks. Even challenges became opportunities to grow rather than sources of frustration. Resilience, perhaps the most critical habit, was now firmly established. Alex approached obstacles with calm, problem-solving, and adaptability. He understood that setbacks were inevitable, but motivation and progress were maintained through perspective, planning, and persistence. The combination of reflection, gratitude, and proactive strategies ensured that temporary difficulties did not derail his long-term trajectory. Alex also recognized the importance of balance. By integrating work with personal well-being, rest, creative exploration, and relationships, he created a sustainable lifestyle. Motivation and productivity thrived when the mind, body, and emotional state were in harmony. Successful people, he observed, do not sacrifice one aspect of life for another. They cultivate habits that allow multiple dimensions of life to flourish simultaneously. By the end of this journey, Alex had internalized a powerful truth: success is built through small, consistent actions that compound over time. Habits, whether related to focus, energy, learning, reflection, resilience, or balance, create a framework that transforms intention into achievement. Motivation is not a random force but a cultivated state, strengthened by structure, awareness, and deliberate practice. As he looked back on the past weeks, Alex felt a deep sense of confidence and empowerment. The habits he had formed were now tools he could use to navigate any challenge, pursue ambitious goals, and maintain personal fulfillment. He realized that anyone could adopt these practices. The key was persistence, consistency, and a willingness to learn from experience. In conclusion, the path to success is not a sudden leap or a single breakthrough. It is the daily commitment to habits that align actions with purpose. Meditation, exercise, goal setting, focus, learning, networking, reflection, gratitude, resilience, and balance are not just strategies. They are the foundation upon which highly successful people build extraordinary lives. Alex had discovered that by cultivating these habits, anyone could transform their motivation, productivity, and ultimately, their life. And so, with a clear mind, energized body, and purposeful heart, Alex looked forward to the future, ready to continue growing, learning, and thriving, one habit at a time.